Hey there, Chris from Crux Interfacing congratulating you on the purchase of your brand new Crux SOCGM-17C wiring harness adapter, which is going to allow you to install your new aftermarket radio in your select GM Class 2 vehicles from 2000 and up. In this unboxing, we're going to show you everything that's included in your new harness box, along with the instructions on how to get it set up and wired to your new aftermarket radio. Now, this harness adapter applies and works with many different Class 2 GM vehicles from 2000 and up, ranging from Buick, GMCs, Cadillacs, Hummers, Chevys, Isuzu, Oldsmobile, Pontiacs, Saab, and Saturn vehicles. We won't go through this in great detail, but we can link all these applicable vehicles, see if this harness will work for you in your install. Okay, so at this point of time, let's go ahead and open up this box and show you everything that this harness adapter box includes. Alright, so with the box now pulled apart, you can see everything that this kit includes, including your main wiring harness adapter, which converts the factory OEM style plug to one that can be wired into an aftermarket radio. Includes your smart harness module that not only includes your factory features such as chime, but also retains any sort of factory feature that's found over the data or canvas of the vehicle, like illumination and accessory. And finally, comes with your main wiring harness instructions here, which we'll cover in great detail. Alright, so let's take a closer look at the included instruction manual provided by our harness kit here, and the first section talks about those product features in your vehicle when installing an aftermarket radio, and that includes supporting either the amplified or non-amplified audio systems. So whether you have Bose, Monsoon, or the Y-91 premium Bose audio, this will work for you. If you have more of a bass trim, non-amplified audio, this works for you as well. It also retains your factory chime functions, which is generated from a built-in speaker within the smart module itself, and you even have the opportunity to raise and lower that chime volume easily with use of a little screw on the side, which we can show you in a moment. Finally, this is EIA color-coded for ease when wiring this to your new aftermarket radio, and we'll talk about that wiring here in a moment. Quick note, this harness adapter does not retain your premium Bose Y-91 audio from 2002 to 2004 trucks and SUVs. If you have that premium Bose audio system, you're going to need the SWR-GM-48 version of this harness. Lastly, quick note, you'll notice that it doesn't have any information about steering wheel volume controls. If you have the buttons on the steering wheel to control the audio on your radio, you'll need the SWR-GM-48 version of this harness as well. Now here at the bottom of the page, Crux outlines not only each color of your harness adapter, but the function of that wire, so you can correctly pair it and wire that to your new aftermarket radio's wiring harness. Now, specifically looking at each wire, your violet white is going to be your reverse gear trigger wire, or in other words, the wire that's going to trigger a reverse camera or backup camera compatible radio to cycle over to reverse as soon as you put your vehicle in reverse. Radio must be backup camera ready in order for that to work. If your radio does not have a backup camera capability, you won't use this wire. Orange is going to be your illumination, which will dim the radio as soon as your headlights turn on for safe driving at night. Blue-white is going to be your amplifier turn-on wire, which will trigger both your factory amplifier or an aftermarket amplifier to turn on as soon as the radio does. If you have neither, then that wire won't be used. Yellow is going to be your constant 12 volt, or also known as your memory wire. Red's going to be accessory, which will turn the radio on as soon as you turn the key on. Black is your ground. Now gray, black, white, black, violet, black, and green black are all your speaker wire outputs, which essentially send your audio signal from the radio to all your speakers. Down here at the bottom shows your 24-pin harness connector, which will plug into the OEM harness that was originally in the OEM radio. Your 16-pin harness here will plug into your Crux module, and you also have a smaller 8-pin harness which will connect either into the non-Bose or Bose ports, which we'll make a closer note on here in a moment. Now, whether you have Bose or non-Bose, here on the second page shows you how to plug in that 8-pin harness into the module. If you have a Bose or Monsoon or just a general factory amplified audio sound system, that 8-pin harness will connect into the gray plug that's marked Bose or amplified. If you don't have the factory upgraded audio sound system, or in other words, you don't see the Bose or Monsoon logo anywhere in the vehicle, you probably have the bass trim and you'll need to use the corresponding port to plug in that 8-pin harness. You're going to use one or the other, you'll never use both. Next here is your chime level adjustment. Because this smart harness generates that chime sound that was lost once we removed the factory radio, that chime actually has adjustment within the Crux harness module, and you can adjust that volume either up or down with a small screwdriver, turning this dial left or right. And one last note here, in the Corvette vehicle, if you're installing this in a Corvette, whether you hit the traction control or the DIC buttons, you may have a chime that will sound through that smart harness module. Now lastly here, before we wrap up this video, let's take a closer look at our harness adapter itself. Again, this end plugs into your OEM plug found from the factory radio. This is your 16-pin harness. Again, this plugs simply into your smart module here, just like so. And again, this is your 8-pin harness, which will plug either to the Bose or non-Bose or amplified or non-amplified sound system. So if you have Bose, Monsoon, or Premium Bose that's applicable, you'll plug that in there. If you have non-Bose or no indication that you have a factory amplifier, you'll plug it into the non-amplified port. And finally, here are all your wiring colors. And again, everything is diagrammed in your instructions here. It's all pre-stripped here. You can pull off the ends. Now, when you wire these up, we strongly recommend that you don't simply twist and tape, or even worse, use wire nuts, as those are just not designed for an automotive application. When making your connections, if you're unable to solder and heat shrink, we either suggest using butt connectors or crimp caps to make those connections. Again, you'll match these up not only color by color, but function by function, verifying that against the Crux instructions and the instructions provided with your new aftermarket radio. Now, if you want more information on this harness adapter, we'll link it down in the description of the video. Thanks again for watching. If you liked what you saw, be sure to hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe. We post great content on that channel all the time, and we will see you in the next video.